Welcome to Hero Machines, where we take a closer look at the remarkable tools and methods that shape the way we work with wood. Today, we'll witness the full journey of timber, from the moment a tree is carefully harvested in the forest, to the loading yards where logs are lifted and stacked, and finally to the homestead where wood is split into firewood. For generations, working with trees has been at the heart of rural life. Many of you may remember when cutting down a tree meant hours of swinging a saw, hauling by hand, and splitting with nothing more than an axe. The work was hard, demanding, and sometimes dangerous. But with the help of modern machines and timeless techniques, the same jobs can now be done with greater safety, efficiency, and precision. This video is not just about watching powerful machines at work. It's also about learning valuable lessons, methods that can still be applied at home, whether you're handling a small woodlot, stacking firewood for winter, or simply appreciating the skill that goes into turning tall trees into useful resources. Our journey begins deep in the forest, where towering trees stand ready to be harvested. Cutting down a tree is never just about great strength. It requires careful planning. Every tree leans in a certain direction, and the soil, the wind, and the surrounding vegetation all play a role in how it will fall. Modern harvesters are designed to handle this challenge with remarkable control. The machine grips the tree firmly, saws through its base in a clean, steady motion, and then guides it safely to the ground. This is a world away from the days of axes and two-man saws, when felling a tree could take hours of back-breaking labor. Once the tree is down, the harvester immediately begins processing. Its hydraulic arms strip away the branches with smooth sweeps, leaving a clean trunk. The log is then measured and cut into specific lengths, each piece destined for a different use, whether it's lumber, pulp, or firewood. But even if you are not working with machines, there's something important to take from this. The principle of working smart, not just hard, applies everywhere. Before cutting any piece of wood, whether it's a large tree or a small log, take a moment to plan. Think about where the cut will lead, how the wood will move once it's free, and how you can minimize effort while keeping yourself safe. Older viewers may recall how planning was always part of the work. A farmer choosing where to drop a tree so it could be dragged easily by horses, or a woodcutter arranging cuts so logs stacked neatly for hauling. These lessons remain true today. By watching this machine, you can see the same wisdom in action: precision, efficiency, and safety. It reminds us that whether you're using a saw, an axe, or a powerful harvester, good work always begins with good planning. After harvesting, the next challenge is moving the timber. Logs are heavy, sometimes weighing thousands of pounds, and handling them requires a balance of power and control. This is where specialized loaders come into play. The loader uses strong hydraulic arms equipped with massive claws to grip each log. It lifts them into the air and carefully places them onto a waiting truck. What's impressive is not just the strength, but the precision. Each movement is deliberate, stacking the timber in tight rows so the load remains stable during transport. If you've ever stacked firewood by hand, you know the importance of balance. A pile that isn't straight or tight will collapse easily, wasting time and energy. The same principle applies here, but on a much larger scale. The operator must judge the weight of each log, position it correctly, and build a load that can safely travel miles down the road. For older generations, this step might bring back memories of working with teams of horses or tractors, dragging logs across fields and forests. In those days, it was pure muscle and teamwork, men using chains, hooks, and grit to move timber. Today, machines have taken over the heavy lifting, but the underlying knowledge hasn't changed. It's still about leverage, balance, and respect for the weight you're dealing with. Another lesson worth noting: whether you're loading a pickup with firewood or watching a machine load a timber truck, always think about safety first. A rolling log can cause serious injury in seconds. That's why these operators move slowly, making sure every piece is secure before continuing. This careful approach is something we can all use at home. Whether stacking wood in the shed or loading a trailer, take the extra time to ensure everything is stable. It saves effort in the long run and prevents accidents. final stage of the journey brings us home. After trees are harvested and logs are moved, many of them end up as firewood, a resource that has warmed homes for centuries. In the past, splitting wood meant hours with an axe or a heavy maul. Many of you watching have likely done this countless times, feeling the sting in your shoulders and the ache in your back after a long day at the woodpile. It was hard work, but it was also rewarding. There's nothing quite like the warmth of a fire fueled by wood you've split yourself. Today, mechanical wood splitters make the process much easier. A powerful hydraulic piston drives a steel wedge straight into the log, splitting it cleanly in seconds. What once took dozens of swings is now done with the push of a lever. For older folks, this technology is a blessing. It reduces strain on the body, making it possible to process large amounts of firewood without the exhaustion or risk of injury. But even with these machines, there are valuable lessons to keep in mind. Stability matters. Always position the log securely before splitting. Stay clear of danger zones. Keep hands and feet away from the wedge's path. Stack smart. Once split, wood should be stacked off the ground in a dry and airy place so it seasons properly. Well-seasoned wood burns hotter, cleaner, and longer, something every homeowner appreciates in winter. Watching this process reminds us of the timeless cycle of work and reward. Splitting wood, whether by hand or machine, is not just about producing fuel. It's about preparing, planning, and caring for your home and family. And so, the journey of a tree comes full circle. From the forest where it once stood tall, to the trucks that carried it, and finally, to the firewood that warms a home. Along the way, we've seen the power of machines, the wisdom of careful planning, and the value of methods that have stood the test of time. Thank you for joining us on this journey here at Hero Machines. Stay with us for more explorations into the incredible world of machines and the timeless skills that continue to shape our lives.